Hello all of you and welcome to my channel Anirudh Naveen. So today we'll have a small discussion on the first chapter of your political science class 10, and that is power sharing. So from now on I'll be posting these videos before the SST exam, which is on 22nd of March. So I'll just summarize it quickly. What are the important points which you must focus on for your social science exam? So talking about this chapter, that is power sharing, it is the first chapter and a very easy chapter. I feel out of all the 22 chapters which you will be having in your social science exam, I think this is the easiest of the lot. So it's a very important chapter considering our country, considering democracy, because I actually find political science very interesting because it intrigues all of us, and it is a very important component of our lives. So what is power sharing? Let's start off from the basics. Power sharing is basically the sharing of power between various units of the country. So they have given an example in NCERT also, and if you refer to other books, they would have given examples. Like suppose you're in a class and you divide power among different children. The teacher divides power among different children so that they can carry out duties in their class. So power sharing is very essential to carry out an efficient execution of the laws made by the legislature in a democracy. So in the chapter initially you have two case studies. First one is of Belgium and the second one is of Sri Lanka. Two contrasting case studies. So the first one, let's first discuss about Belgium. So Belgium basically is a country which is located in Europe, and its capital is Brussels. You must remember that. So its composition is also very important. Its ethnic composition is 59% are Dutch and live in the Flemish region, and 40% are French and they live in the Wallonia region. So this is very important, and the 1% is German. So now you can imagine the situation where the majority are actually Dutch, if you take the country as an overall as a unit. But there's a special case here, and that is that the capital Brussels has a higher population of the French, and the Dutch has a lower population. So this is a special kind of scenario, and both the countries could assert their authority over each other. But what happened in Belgium? They followed accommodation, which means 4 laws were made. The first amendment was that the number of Dutch and French ministers in the central government were equal. Second one was that many powers of the central government were given to the state government. The third one was a special community government was formed, where the community will decide the matters regarding the particular community. The community will take the decisions for that. And the fourth one was that the number of the Brussels had a separate government of its own, so that it can sort out problems of its own state. That's Brussels, and Brussels was chosen as the headquarters of the European Union later on. So you can see that after this process, a lot of harmony was witnessed in Belgium. So a lot of problems were sorted out in Belgium after accommodation was followed. A contrasting case in Sri Lanka, where Sinhala is the majority. 74% is Sinhala and 18% is Tamils, and the Sinhala opposed their authority over the Sri Lankan Tamils. What happened? Civil strife took place. They opposed majoritarianism. What is majoritarianism? When the majority imposes its will over the minority, disregarding the wishes and the needs of the minority. So majoritarianism was followed, and even now civil strife is taking place. So you can see what happened. Contrasting. In one case, accommodation took place and people began living with in harmony, and another case, civil war is taking place. Even now in Sri Lanka, there is a lot of tension over there. So this shows us that power sharing, the second point of accommodation which took place in Belgium, a lot of power of the central government was shifted to the state government. So this is an example of power sharing, and it led to a lot of harmony. So now there are two very important things, two very important reasons why power sharing is favorable. The first one is the prudential reason. Prudential reason is that it helps in avoiding conflicts, as you saw in the example of Brussels and Sri Lanka. And the second one is a moral reason, which is that it's the very spirit of democracy. That without power sharing, a democracy cannot function. So that is about the advantages of power sharing. Then there is a very important question might come in your question paper, and that is, what are the different forms of power sharing? So there are basically four forms. I'll give you a trick to remember that. The first one is horizontal form of power sharing. Now horizontal is like this, it's a sleeping line. So horizontal is legislative, executive and judiciary. It is called a system of checks and balances, which means that each and every unit, legislative prepares the laws, executive executes the plans, and judiciary ensures that there is no conflict in between. So all these three units, they help each other and they coexist with each other. So that's why it's called a system of checks and balances. That is the horizontal distribution. The vertical is central, state and local government. That's the second form of power sharing, where each and every form of government is subordinate to each other. Central is highest, state is subordinate to central, and the local government is further subordinate to the state government. That's the vertical form. The third one, you can remember the example of Brussels and the example of Belgium, where community government was formed. That's a community government, where the community formed a separate government of its own. And the fourth one is where political groups and pressure groups, political parties, all of these influence those in powers. So these are the four: the horizontal, vertical, and then you have the community government and the political parties and the pressure groups which influence those who are in power. So these are the four things which you need to remember. This chapter is very small and very easy. Just go through it once, just go through the important points. In social science, just mark the important points and the keywords and you will score your marks. So wishing you all the best and hope you like this video. If you like, please press the like button and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.